Day meant to mark a moment of national pride for the Indian Air Force has turned into a nightmare at Chennai's Marina beach when a crowd of more than 12 lakh people surged towards exits, leaving 5 dead and many hospitalized. The October 6th Airshow, held to commemorate the Indian Air Force's 92nd anniversary, was the first such event in Chennai in over 2 decades. What was intended to be a spectacle of military aviation ended in chaos as the sheer size of the crowd overwhelmed both organizers and local authorities. As the event came to a close, chaos ensued. Poor coordination by traffic authorities left lakhs of people stranded across the city. Roads surrounding the Marina beach were gridlocked, making it difficult for people to leave the area. Several parts of Chennai experienced similar traffic snarls as the massive crowds struggled to disperse. Meanwhile, a political storm has erupted in Tamil Nadu, with the BJP and AIDMK bashing the MK Stalin government for mismanagement. Tamil Nadu BJP President K. Annamalai also blasted the government, accusing it of negligence. He described the deaths as preventable. And he also said proper facilities, if they had been in place, they would have been prevented. Annamalai further targeted the CM Stalin, calling the incident a complete failure of administration. Tamil Nadu Health Minister M.A. Subramaniam defended the state government's efforts, though, claiming it had gone beyond and above the Indian Air Force's requests for the event. Joining us live at this point, Wing Commander Sudhakaran, former Indian Air Force officer. We also have Dr. P.S.V. Rao, consultant surgeon, Manipal Hospital, Hebbal, Bengaluru, live with us. Brigadier B.K. Khanna, former member NDMA, is joining us live. Ramaswamy Mayappan, lawyer and activist, also joins us live. Let me make a start with you, Wing Commander Sudhakaran. This should have been a day of pride for the Indian Air Force. It has turned, though, into a nightmare.
Well, I don't think the Indian Air Force could be held responsible for this. Not that I owe any special allegiance to the Air Force more than the country or the state. In fact, I was brought up in Tamil Nadu, so I have my roots there. I was brought up in the city of Coimbatore, so I love that state more than anyone else. But my heart goes out when I find that 3 people died, which was absolutely avoidable. It speaks of the kind of politics that the state is witnessing right now, because it talks about the insensitivity of the administration, because nobody probably cared to sit and plan well. They didn't take it too seriously. That's the problem. Or else what I could say is they were busy defending themselves, or probably looking at the ways of how to make more money from the exchequer. That was what has happened. Otherwise, see, I have been part of the air show for the last 25 odd years, and we've seen numerous air shows. In fact, as late as last year, when it is a routine event in Bangalore when it is held. But, it is one thing to aspire to create world records, and when you are attempting a record, you must be double prepared to do it, because you consciously were inviting people to witness this. It was not that we didn't know. They, in fact, instigated people to, come to witness this, which means there was all the more reason to be well prepared. In fact, even if the government had applied themselves, they could have taken money from the people to actually give them more facilities, because people in Chennai, I know, they don't hesitate to spend. It's not another city wherein it is one of the well-to-do states, GDP positive state, which is one of the richest states in India. I don't know why we did what we did. It has brought down the image of Chennai, for that matter. How would we tomorrow, if India is to go on to hold the Olympics, how are you going to have such big mega events to be held in a city which can't take control of an event which was promoted by itself? That talks about the quality of leadership that we have. If we have these 10 standard past cinema actors as politicians, then probably they will sit in an air-conditioned tents, and that's what they will do. They will rob the people of their basic necessities of life. And when I say basic necessities, it's water, it's shade. Chennai can be quite unforgiving during these times, because till the time the retreating monsoon, the northeast monsoon comes in, unlike most of the other parts of country which has already cooled down, Chennai is just waiting to cool down. It takes a couple of months more. So while it was good of the Air Force to have planned this, but then I'm sorry that the bureaucracy, the law enforcement mechanism, and the health services, which is generally good in South India. I today hold my head down in shame just because, I've seen so many people injured and have lost their lives in it.
In fact, quickly rope in Dr. P.S.V. Rao. Dr. P.S.V. Rao, was this a man-made tragedy? Could this have been prevented? At the end of the day, a joyous day has turned into a very, sad and somber occasion.
Good evening, and all the panelists and viewers. This was a highly avoidable thing, and it is a purely man-made disaster. The Marina Beach, which I have visited any number of times, is a very long, nice, sandy beach.
Okay, I think we're having some audio issues there with you. I'll come back to you. Let me get in Brigadier B.K. Khanna. Meanwhile, Brigadier B.K. Khanna, this is unfortunately becoming a recurring pattern in India. These kind of tragedies involving large amounts of people gathering in such small places. Why aren't SOPs being followed, enacted, and who should be held accountable for what we've seen occur today?
Thank you very much for taking me on your show. Let me take it into the three parts. One is the planning, second is the preparation, and third is the response part, as we take it in the disaster management. So as far as the planning is concerned, the planning was required once we knew it, that how many people are going to come. They were thinking about 16 lakhs. 12 lakh people, they increases, no? A lot of disturbance. There were 12 lakh people or 14 lakh, whatever the number was there only, we will prepare for it only. Because for a large congregation, there is a separate set force we are required to manage the crowd or something. So, I mean, the people have to be set up, basic facilities have to be given there, like the water, like the basic, in fact, some knickknacks, etc., which has to be given. As we have seen it there, whether it is, in fact, when we have the Kumbh Mela, etc., these things are provided there. More than, in fact, so many lakh people, they come at one particular time. But here, of course, I will say that in the planning part, the government, the state government as well as the district administration of Chennai both failed. Second part, as far as preparation is concerned, when start preparing for it only, who are the ones who are going to be there? The preparation was there only by the police people, they were responsible for it, but and more also the volunteers which are required. I mean, were they expecting, were they prepared for it? Were there any practices were done? But some mock exercise was done for that only. Were they knew it in case what type of response is required? I'm told there were 30, the ambulances were coming, but the ambulances could not reach there because of the crowd which is coming against. So that those are the, if the contingency come out when you do the mock exercise, I don't think any mock exercise. So as far as the preparation is concerned, the police is responsible for it only, and the other disaster management, the department of the state as well as the district both fail. That is a good committee. As far as the response is concerned, two parts. One is the response from the government as response from the community. I will commend that the response from the community for the people who they resident out there only. They came out. In fact, because they came out of the water they had it, and they were given a food. They were able to save some. In fact, people because of giving them the water, much needed water is required to be done. And what was the need of, in fact, putting away those water, those chaps who were there, were sending the water only before, in fact, even started. I mean, was there any folks, this thing, any action which is required, like say the people who are going to come in, so how many they will be coming in that particular department? When you have so many communications, you can't push them into that. In fact, okay, this particular area, they have to be put into various particular boxes. They have to put into various areas, so that they can come. And then similarly, the contingency plan, in case there's some crowd, etc., come there, how do you manage it? So as far as the response is concerned, again, I would say, as far as the response is concerned, although the medical facilities were there only, they were not able to reach in time. So unfortunately, we lost 5 people, and of course, a number of them, of course, they dehydrated, they're in the hospitals, etc. I hope they recover, etc. So, in overall, I will say, yes, it was a failure on the part of the state government, it's a failure on the part of the district administration, it's a failure part of the police, and it was a failure part of the disaster management. commending the services. As far as the Air Force is concerned, of course, we can't blame them because they are not one they want to put there. But yes, they should have been consulted as to how many people are going to come and then post. And something they should have told them with their own experience, because as very rightly said the previous, this thing that with so much of experience, in case you are going to get so many people out there who are sitting like that, so please make sure that you have some arrangement for that only. But not, I mean, I won't blame the Air Force also because they are in the air, they were not on the ground. Nothing happened there. Thank you very much. This is what I can say. And a specific query you got it, I'll answer.
Okay, let me quickly go back across an attempt to go back to Dr. Rao if we have his audio through as yet. Dr. Rao, why don't we attempt to to have you give your opening comment before we lost you.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah. What I was saying was that one, I feel really sad that such a tragedy has occurred. That Marina Beach is something which I have visited any number of times. There was a time when my parents were staying very near that Marina Beach. It's a vast, long, sandy beach. It is not a rocky beach. It's a very nice beach. And you can handle a large crowd. But obviously, they hadn't planned for the such a huge crowd. You can't blame the Air Force for it. The Air Force did a great show. Well, the people who were responsible for managing this event on the ground, they have been found extremely lacking. If you have such a dense crowding, what happens is that you are unable, your sweat doesn't evaporate because of the dense and the heat from all the people will actually make it even more hot than if you were openly, the crowd was open out. When you have got a dense crowd, there is also the risk of stampede. Luckily, the stampede hasn't occurred purely because there was no exit gate, the narrow exit gate, the whole area was open. But when you crowd up people, it's not only the humidity and the heat of Chennai, and the humidity will be much more at the sea beach. The sweat doesn't evaporate, so you are very likely to go into a heat stroke. This is something they should have planned, and so much of dense crowding should never have been allowed. And there has been no crowd control. I think it was just open house. Anyone and everyone, please come and see the show. And it is very obvious from the videos that how dense the crowd was. And this is exactly why this tragedy occurred. It is sad, and as a doctor, we always say prevention is better than cure. This should have been eminently preventable if this had been properly planned. And if the crowd had been spread out and there had been some kind of crowd control. I think they just made it an open house, anyone and everyone please come and enjoy the show. And there was no crowd control absolutely there, otherwise this tragedy wouldn't have happened. We can't densely pack up a crowd near a beach, near the beach where the humidity is much higher and in the heat of the Chennai summer.
Yes, let me quickly get that across to Ramaswamy Mayappan as well. Ramaswamy Mayappan, how concerning is this, given the fact that you're a citizen of this state, that this tragedy has unfolded in Chennai, and also who would you hold accountable for what transpired today? Will, accountability be fixed and people be booked for what happened today and the loss of lives and injuries?
My pronouns to Bharat Mata and the people of the country, your audience. First, a salute to the airport for having run a phenomenal show. The first of the air shows in Chennai after about almost 20 years, I think. A salute to them. And deepest condolences go out to the families that lost their lives, lost their near dear ones. I think about 5 of them a demise during the air show. My concern arises from the very planning stage. So, understandably, the planning could have been poor. They probably did not expect the crowd that amassed. But what transpired is I used the same road to commute to the court in my office, and I was present on the day of the air show. What the state authorities and the district administration failed is in not planning for how many people even came to see the rehearsals. Even the rehearsals were very busy. So then the state administration and the district administration should have understood the number of people coming to watch the actual day of watch on the actual day of the show would have increased significantly in exponentially. And when you plan for the crowds, you plan for water, you plan for sanitation arrangements, you plan for food arrangements, you plan for security, and you plan for medical arrangements as well. None of these arrangements were made. There was not sufficient water. There's no sufficient water available. There were not enough food outlets. There were no medical emergency vehicles available. The strangest position is the Marina Beach is not too far from the Chepauk Stadium where the cricket matches happen. When the cricket matches happen, there is enough and sufficient warning given to travelers nearby in the area for traffic diversions. And there are ambulances placed in the nearby area. There are parking arrangements made at the university facility, in the Air Force facility, in the Armed Forces facility, in the Marina Beach, in the college administration nearby, and in the adjoining rooms. But the same arrangements were not made today. The same issue, not just for the traffic, not just for the parking, the traffic arrangements. The Marina Road is a 4-lane road, 2 lanes on each side of the traffic, but no arrangements were made for alternate traffic. Public transport system was not monitored. Look at the number of people waiting at the railway station, at the metro station, and at the bus terminus. They could not handle enough people. Even during cricket matches, there are additional and special trains that are made available at frequent intervals. Those arrangements were not made. There were no discussions held with the Chennai Metro Rail Limited for this particular purpose. That's the extent of failure. The Chief Minister and the Health Minister come and make these audacious statements before the public saying that no, all arrangements were made, these were not anticipated. The non-anticipation is because they're poor planning. And what they anticipate for cricket match, about 80,000 crowds, they should have easily anticipated a larger issue here, which they did not. And leave all that. After the events took place, when people have lost their lives, there are people who are injured, the audacity that this government has is to grant an ex gratia of 5 lakhs. The negligence of the state and the district administration is the cause for the loss of lives of able young people who have lost their lives. Where people lose lives after consuming illicit liquor, this very state government offers them an ex gratia of 20 lakhs. And here, when negligence is of the state, and that's the ex gratia that they are ready to offer from the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. That's the importance that the state government gives to its people. That's the importance with which it does planning. That's the importance which entire governance takes place. And the Home Minister is none other than the Chief Minister. The law and order security should have been his will. He should have called for a meeting. These things should have been considered. I have absolutely no clue with what ability the state administration functions. This is not the first issue where this is taking place. They conducted a race not too long ago. Less than 3 months ago, there was a race that was an international race that was conducted. At the international race, the very same issue was there. Do you learn your lessons from past events or not? They could not manage crowd there, they could not manage resources there, they could not manage transport system, they could not manage parking systems there. So if the state government is going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again, all that the people can anticipate is poor governance and corruption from the state and not good performance and not a government that cares about the people's welfare.
Okay, let me go back across to Brigadier Khanna as well. Brigadier Khanna, what action would you expect from the police in this particular case? And also going forward, do you believe perhaps, some legislation from the center also is needed to avoid such tragedies occurring? We all saw what happened in Hathras earlier. Now this tragedy in Chennai. How do we prevent such cases?
In fact, as I said, when you are planning, you say, okay, what are the resources which are required to manage that type of a crowd? Like say you are managing the crowd like the Hathras, of course, the crowd was, in fact, less than about 1 lakh. And here, of course, the crowd, I think, more than 12 lakh. So the requirement of the resources is different. That is here, like the resources which are required was much, much more than what the Hathras was requirement is. Therefore, they had the volunteers there as far as the concern. But what I wanted to clarify here, saying that when you are organizing such events, so you must plan properly, and then of course check what can go wrong. Contingency planning is very, very important. That is the reason the importance of the mock exercise is very, very important for this particular because okay, we are organizing this particular day, and Air Force has been practicing about 4 days also earlier. So plan it such a way, tell people that they can show the same thing for 2 days earlier also. Once something done, no. Were there, of course, announcements which are made, which are required to be made, so they can so please keep quiet, and so we're going to come with whatever requirement is. No, nothing was done. So here, of course, that's one thing. As far as planning is concerned, there was a complete failure. And here, of course, the police role is very, very important, because police is the one, of course, as well as law and order is concerned. They take, of course, the order from the political, but as far as the execution is concerned, it is done by them. A politician doesn't okay, going to control of the public is done by the police. And law and authority, whatever the resources they wanted, they can have a civil defense, they can ask for reports, the central forces or something, in case something which a requirement is there. It could have been asked, and then of course they would have been made available, or not made available, then reduce the number of people who want to come over there. So hence planning as well as the preparation was not done, and that is why this has resulted there. There was something a little different. But what I'm in both these cases, and whenever the organizing is there, that of course in the NDMA, and now of course where I am now in the UN level, we keep on saying it there, when you're organizing such things, so plan it, practice it before, and only before you start executing it. I mean, I can tell you very frankly, because I was very much involved as far as Commonwealth Games are concerned. We were involved there for about 9 months for organizing this. Only each and every aspect of the contingency was done. In case something happened, because so what are the various actions, everything went on smoothly. Well, something is going to happen, well, we know it, but that is the response part. But what the contingency, the planning is very, very important, which was not there. So my request that whenever you go to have such, so plan it properly, see the resources which are required, see what is the resources which are available with you, additional resources are available. In India, we can get them, so in case you can plan it before and only then ask for it only. They will be made available. You got the paramilitary forces, you got the armed forces, and so they will be made available to you in case need arises, etc. But don't do something as, half bake thing and something and say, okay, we'll have some sort of a word record or something. So that was not correct. That's not correct on the part, because before planning, you start organizing something. But here, of course, one lesson, which the other thing is that only let's have a detailed, of course, inquiry on that only, impartial inquiry, and whosoever is responsible for that only, in fact, they must be held responsible, and of course, so that it's a lesson for the others also in other things, so that, well, don't take it lightly, enough is enough.
Okay, let me also, in fact, quickly bring in Wing Commander Sudhakaran back into the conversation. Wing Commander Sudhakaran, now, of course, you started out by saying that you would not hold the Indian Air Force accountable for what happened, in Tamil Nadu today, but a political blame game has also erupted. While the Tamil Nadu government says that they went over and above to cede to the IAF's requests and did whatever they could, the BJP Tamil Nadu president is actually blaming the Tamil Nadu government and saying the CM is accountable for this tragedy.
Absolutely. There are no two words about it, but I will go on one step further to say that these 5 families should be given the legal support to sue the government. They must take the government to the court, to the cleanest, because there is no doubt there was gross negligence that was on display more than the Airshow. And that can be it is not difficult to prove that. Now, the state constitutes an independent commission to probe it. And let me tell you, it will be botched up, it will be covered, and tomorrow me and you will forget it. We need to take them to the cleanest, because imagine there is a guy who is somewhere around 34 or 36 who's died, right? Who will look after his family? I hope he's not the sole breadwinner there. Now, how long can we put up with this averageness? Imagine, I come from a service which has held the head of India tall. We have never lost. We have always delivered when it mattered the most. The armed forces are probably the only service in India which has delivered time and again, which has not failed India. And when I come from such a place with such high standards, I expect the bureaucrats who sit at the top of the chain to deliver probably better than what we have given to India. And if they have not given that, we must hold them accountable. The heads must roll. Today I just can't understand the insensitivity of the politicians when they said we did more than what we could and we kind of favored the Air Force. It is not, you are not from the descendants of the Chola kingdom. You are not the kings. These guys are bonkers. They don't really understand. You have blood of 5 lives on your hand. And I would seriously urge those families to hire a good lawyer. Maybe the opposition parties can actually help them out, and then they have to take the government to the cleanest. They have to prove negligence in the court of law, and I hope the judges, the honorable judges, value the lives of Indians, not value them at 5 lakhs. A huge tragedy wherein liquor is served, you get 20, 25 lakhs and sometimes even a crore, depending on which side of the political spectrum these people are on. Because these peoples are naive, and most of them are Hindus, as I see. Probably if they are from the minority communities, they would have even fetched more. That is not what we give to our fellow citizens. We need to make the administration accountable. We need to make it transparent, and we need to ensure that the next time they go around, the planning can definitely not go around, and we can't have so many people in the hospitals just because they went to see an air show.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.